Bing, bing, bing. We're live. It's the Martin Fowler Scrum on it's Thursday, and Nicola and Musa and Aniuki and myself, Sam, are here. Shall we start with Nicola? How are things going with you?
Yeah, I've been working on local support yesterday and today. I wanted to close most of you will find a lot of changes. Some of them were related to cold climate. Appearing, Clement says, "Oh no, but you now have this problem." So, and I think that is pretty close to merge. The only thing it has is it has 112 lines, and it should have only 100. So, yeah. And the other thing, I'm working in the SHF project, and I have no blockers.
All right, good stuff. Thank you, Nicola. Yeah, maybe we'll look at some of those things at the end there. Let's go on to Aniwoke. Was it? Hey, Aniwoke, how are you doing?
I'm good. Good.
Yeah. Anything to report? Are you working on anything? Are you blocked on anything?
No, I'm not blocked on anything. I've just been working on Cold Steel's web developer bootcamp from Udemy.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Oh, great to have you with us. Fantastic. We've also got lots of people. We've got Sigu. Hey Sigu, how? Thanks. Anyway, okay, Sigu, how are things going with you?
Hi, Sigu's not around.
Ah.
Yeah, I'm Getty though.
Hi, hey Getty, how's it going?
I'm good.
Excellent. Yeah. Anything? I see you've done a pull request on local supports. Yeah. Is everything okay? You blocked on anything?
Yeah, no. Actually, I finished. It was just to edit an if-else block statement and to replace it with a guard clause.
Yeah, great stuff.
Yeah, it was okay.
Fantastic. Yeah, well, we'll see if we can get that merged in. Yeah, I see Sigu's reviewed that already. Oh, wonderful. Yeah, we've got online links in there. That's fantastic. Yeah, is there? I guess will you be? Do you need any help finding another thing to work on? The next step, or is it all okay? Okay,
actually, yes, I do.
Right. Yeah, well, we can certainly help you with that at the end of the Scrum. Fantastic.
All right.
Yeah, and well, lovely to have you contributing, Gertie. Does anybody? I think we've got Musa and Lisa, Lucy and Crafty. Does anybody else want to chime in and tell us what's going on with them, or are you still just listening for the moment?
Okay. Hi, Tom.
Hey, Musa.
Hi, everyone. Okay, we picked an issue with Kevin.
Oh, yeah.
And we are working on date time and start time and end time. Yeah, in the event.
Fantastic.
And actually, okay, we are trying to use a gem called the Bootstrap Time Picker Rails. We are trying to go through how it works, though we will not find a final thing to work with. So we are still struggling to work with it. The gem, Time Picker gem. Yeah, the same way there's a date picker gem. So we wanted to find if we can use the Time Picker gem.
Right. So and are you stuck, or it's kind of you're kind of moving through slowly and it's going okay? Do you need help with anything?
It's okay. We are moving along with Kevin. So we'll work through it, and I guess by tomorrow we will have created a pull request.
Ah, fantastic. Yeah. Well, wonderful. Thank you for the report. Excellent. Wonderful. Sounds like so thanks, Musa. Crafty just listening in, which is always good. People are always welcome to listen in. Yeah, Lucy, do jump in if you want, if there's anything to add, but no pressure. I noticed we've also had Stamatius has joined us. Hey, Stamatius, how are things going with you?
Hey everyone, everything's going well. I basically got the code set up for the website?
Website one.
Agile Ventures website React frontend that you.
You talked about. Yeah, cool.
So I got that set up. I was just browsing through it a little bit yesterday. I didn't actually get to do too much with it. I was working on a little bit of other things for this remote interview today, so I kind of got a little bit blocked with with that. But I should be wrapped up in a few minutes and then jumping back onto this.
Cool.
So
great stuff. Yeah. Oh, good luck with the remote interview. Yeah. So you're not blocked. Things basically under control.
Yeah, not at the moment. No blockers at the moment.
Okay. Cool. Well, I think it's everybody except me. And so, what have I been doing? I just had a private face-to-face session, and but that's on the social prescribing side. This big thing to try and improve healthcare in London. Before that, I've been working on MS Access for the Anthony Powell Society database and sort of making progress. Am I blocked there? I think maybe I'm not, but VB script, Visual Basic, and not my favorite language in the world, but there you go. And then what have we got? Other things? Yeah, I was just telling Nicola, I was out at a digital charities event last night. They had a very interesting roundtable discussion. They didn't have like a speaker. It was all about the future of digital charities. So that was the event here that we had last night, and I really enjoyed that. Often you go to these events and they sort of, there's a speaker and the speaker talks for an hour and a half, and then you don't really get a chance to talk to other people. But I got to meet all of these different groups, like, and the ODI is like the Overseas Development Institute, which is like a government-funded body to help, development in other countries, and I made connections with all these people. So that was a good event last night. Yeah, there's a separate Slack for that if you're interested in joining and finding out more about it. Yeah, the things we've got questions coming in for this is the My Noteboat, the paid project on React that I've got to get in and hopefully land that contract for us, which would be good. And then we've got the deep learning mob coming up. It's a Thursday. There's a local support meeting later on today. Several other things, and there's an open charity. There was digital charities last night. There's an open charities event tonight, but I'm exhausted. I don't know that I can necessarily manage that, particularly after the local support meeting. We will see. Was there anything else that's on the radar? I think there's a SHF check-in tonight as well. And what have we got finally? Let's look through the list. Yeah, Phoenix One planning meeting as well. So lots going on. That's our Scrum. If folks need to move on, then they can do. Let's go and check in though. So we've got a lot of pull requests coming in here on local support. We've got this one that Gertie mentioned there. That is looking just fine. A nice cleanup. Fantastic. Let's get that merged in. Love it. So Gertie will be looking for a new thing. We'll maybe review those in a minute. Nicola, were you right? So this is the geocoder logic one now sorted, and I think you were saying that the key thing comes down to just there's one issue to fix here, which is on the basically too many lines in organizations controller. Yeah, absolutely. And so I think this one.
I was saying that if we want to reduce the amount of line that we have in the controller, we have to split it and create So, and I tried to do it clean it, to make it clean, but no, impossible. I had to change a lot of things, so I said no.
Yeah, no, and that's a very sensible step here. And I think on this one, what we should basically do is create a refactoring ticket to fix this issue. So maybe you could do that in the background, and you don't have to be the one to work on that. That could be somebody else who's interested to pick that up. Interestingly, at least for me, on that one, this is something that Brent and I were looking at the other week, and a lot of the code in that, is it in the organizational control? Well, actually, am I going to be correct now? I think it's actually the organization's model that we were looking at that is kind of too big.
One of the things that I was thinking is all the logic for the search that we have. For example, in volunteer ops and organizations, it can be in only one controller. And also the base organization model is kind of messing around.
So this is our class that we're getting. That's too long. Well, actually, looking at there, I mean, a simple one. Could it just be that we've got a subclass in there for organization?
Yeah, I did a change for that. Yep.
But so this could be pulled out into a separate file, couldn't it? Would be.
Yeah, well, the change that I did was to make it a private method. So the only thing that we are doing now is just organization params, and I was able to remove the call to that class, and we are only calling the organization params.
Oh well, no worries. Anyway, we can leave but the basic issue that CodeClimate is flagging is this class is too long, is too big, and
Yeah.
so we can leave like whatever solution we might. It sounds like you made some good changes already, but yeah, so some more changes will be needed to refactor things out of that class, and that could be a separate refactoring ticket for somebody to look at.
Yep.
Rates.
Yep.
So I think we should just squash and merge that in. What I should always do before these things is just make sure that I don't leave like what's a work in progress in the.
I will have to push finishes. Yeah.
Do you need to put? All right. So yeah, if you want to push the finishes thing, and this is I mean this is really it's the geocoder. It's the refactoring of the geocoder to like make it so that the development setup can be much faster. Okay, so that's all right. So I'll keep an eye on that, and we'll get that merged in once you've pushed up the finishes thing. Now, other podcasts in here. So yeah, so and Stamatios, yeah, was there one last thing that we were doing on this before? Yeah, merging this. Was there anything? I guess the only thing on here was just I was in the structure that you used, like here. So yeah, so we've got this breadcrumbs by action class, and you've just sort of defined default methods for each of these different things here.
Right, that's correct. Because that was where I was getting the. This was like the solution that I came up with for the RSpec and the cucumber errors that I was getting.
Mm-hmm.
If I remember correctly, the scripts were whatever the background steps were basically calling the. One second. I guess like some default functionality or. I don't remember exactly the steps in particular which were causing the issue, but I do know that in particular, like with the volunteer ops, then you're right, exactly that is exactly where the issue was coming into play. Whatever the action was being taken, then it was just calling
so
actions which didn't exist or
so we've got sort of a meta programming thing here where we've got the add breadcrumbs operation is pulled up into the application controller. The logic for it is handled by a separate class for us, and we're doing that. And so what it means is that anytime I guess anywhere that add breadcrumbs is used, you ended up needing to have default things. I think we'll merge this in. Interestingly, there's another meta programming technique that you could have used to solve this without creating all of these stubs. Although actually the stubs there are kind of nice. They tell us, oh, this is the place that you would put something in if you wanted to make a special breadcrumb for the index. But you could have used the method missing method. Do you know about that?
Method missing. I feel like I heard of it, but I don't think I know really anything about it.
Yeah, I mean, what it means is if you in Ruby, if you implement method missing on a class, basically any method that isn't on the class will it'll go into that method, and so you can basically have it as if all of those methods exist, and you can just tell it to ignore them, so that it won't then complain about those methods. Does that make any sense?
Oh yeah, most definitely. It sounds awesome.
Yeah, so it's well, of course, with great power comes great responsibility. So, I think we will merge this in. We will not. I think we don't want to stop this. What we could do is it's a very low priority. But if somebody wanted to experiment with method missing, this would be another great place to create a refactoring ticket to say, we could replace this with method missing. But it's as I say, this has got the nice feature that it's kind of for someone who doesn't know method missing, this explains clearly, what all the different options are there. So I think we can get that. We'll get that merged in. Great work. But yeah, and so I think almost because CodeClimate is not flagging it. I would say if anybody wants to work on method missing, you can go ahead and create the ticket, and we'll think about it. But let's get that.
I will do it.
Yeah, I mean, but that's only if you want to. And remember, there are, if you're excited and you're empowered and you're engaged, Nicola, then don't.
Yeah. I was expecting the time to use it because it's a method that lives in base object, and you don't get to use it too often. So
yeah. No, so exciting stuff. Is there anything happening on the newsletter, Nicola, that we need to be aware of? Is it okay?
No, today I already talked with Stella, so today we are gonna do some progress there.
No rush. Good. Yeah. And then I was noticing this, like it's like bump rails from one release candidate to another. I would almost say like we don't want to be on release candidates. We want to be on solid. Are we currently on 5.1.5 release candidate 1?
We did that upgrade because of the upgrade to the shell, to the PC shell.
Okay.
Because they fixed it there, and that was the only reason.
All right, fair enough. Yeah. So I guess, but I would say here, yeah. So I would say there's no rush on that
to make the upgrade. No.
Yeah. Let's leave that for the moment. But so what we could probably do now, maybe Nicola, for those things that we've just merged in, do you want to kick off a deploy sequence?
Yes.
That would be the other thing that would be interesting for you and I to work on, is sorting it out so that we automate the deploys. But I guess we'll maybe I'm going to be off next. I'm going to be away next week, so maybe when I come back. But if you're happy to do a local support deploy in the meantime,
I will do.
Okay, so then I think, and apologies for keeping people waiting, I guess that the outstanding question was just then, are there other things to work on, I guess, on local support in the first instance? So we've got I think Nicola will have just created a refactoring ticket for the, did you create one already, Nicola? Should we just make one?
I didn't. No. Yeah, we should make one.
Yeah, but so you need to push finishes to that. But also, when there are refactoring, the general rule is if there are things in a pull request, that you're not going to fix, then ideally, make the refactoring. I mean, I'll do this so everyone understand. I'll do as an example now. So, for example, we were just talking about the refactoring of. Oh gosh, maybe it's bigger. We were just talking about how Code Climate had flagged so this is like organizations controller too long. So we can put that in as a chore. Need some way to reduce it's class length, isn't it? The class size, and I'll put maybe extract, or is it organization params into separate file? Could be something else, separate file, question mark, or some other approach. And so we create that, and then so we save that here. So we've got the new thing there, and we take that, and then we go off to the pull requests, and this one isn't closed. And so here, as an indication that, okay, we're not going to fix this code climate issue, we'll say like, we'll leave codes climate issue and fix that in separate refactoring tickets.
Cool.
And so some people would say, well, isn't that kind of dangerous? You've got this red flag here, but in some ways, the bigger danger is having the pull request outstanding for too long. So you don't want to just create refactoring tickets for everything, but there needs to be a balance between, okay, we're going to get a lot of work's been done. I mean, this one's been open for a while. Doesn't even tell me. 6 days ago, which is not too bad, but better to get it done. We've kind of fixed various things. This one, particularly, even just like for the developer here, Nicola's maybe tired of working on this one. Just wants to move on. And I think when your motivation is going down, you need to be able to get closure. So here we do that. You've got like a conflict to resolve there. But yeah, if you put that finishes thing in, then we'll merge that, and then that exists. Cool. So we could have a quick vote on this new one that we've just created. If people are in local support, we're kind of going over time. I need to go and get ready for the next meeting, but let's go into local support. I see his Faith. Faith is asking some stuff. Bing bong, bing bong, bing bong, bing bong. Let's do a vote there. So I'm going to start just doing with the voter thing. I noticed, Nicola, you started a vote the other day, and then you just kind of like revealed, and it was only you. Feel free to leave.
I didn't reveal it. It was
somebody else. Yeah, I guess that's the thing to discuss in the async voter meeting, is that sometimes I think we maybe want to block it so that it can't be revealed until, the problem is at the moment anybody just can come in and click reveal and be like, people don't know that we want them to wait until we've got 3 votes. So
I thought that it was like automatic.
no. At the moment, it only gets revealed if somebody clicks it. Okay. And of course, we've got people from around the world in the channel. So I think that's maybe we want to kind of get something that blocks people from revealing it unless there's at least 3 votes in there. But so I'm going to start a voter here. So this is for refactoring organizations controller.
Yep.
And yeah, any discussion?
One question. Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
how deep can we go with the refactoring organization controller? I mean, we are going to touch only organizations, or we can touch another thing?
Well, I mean, that's it's a question of taste. I mean, one could, as you start, this is the problem. You start refactoring one thing, and then you refactor others and others, and then suddenly you have another pull request with 15 files, and then that's like 8 other new code climate issues, and the kind of the difficulty is in the refactoring is that whether a refactoring is a good idea or not depends upon what other changes are coming through the code base, what other features are going to be implemented. I mean, there's sort of general clear up things. The smaller the change, the more likely that you can say this is probably a good idea. The more extensive the change, the more likely that you paint yourself into a corner with, oh, well, this is a great refactoring, but actually now the code base needs to do something slightly different. So yeah, it's I would say we should probably lean on the side of this should be a simple refactoring just to address the code climate issue, and probably no more. If we come up with ideas for like, oh yes, we could change the base controller and do this, then that would be maybe a separate. We'd propose a separate ticket, and we could then vote separately on that ticket. But I'd say on this one, it's like, let's just get this one code climate issue fixed. And yeah, in which case maybe everyone can go ahead and vote. We'll try and get I think with me voting, we've got our 3 votes. Other people, I guess because I'm short for time, I will go ahead and do the reveal. Yeah, I'll show the way that the reveal works is, there's no timeout at the moment. Basically, anybody in the channel can come in and click this button. They do get a thing saying this will reveal all the votes, but it doesn't say please don't click it unless there's only one. So we've got there, Nicola, you and I are in the simple camp, and we're in the minority. So we have to. The responsibility is on us. Nicola, why were you thinking this is a simple rather than a medium one?
Well, one of the things that we can do is to move the search method that is in the organization controller, and if you move that, you only get 103 lines of
you think of removing the search method, yeah.
Yeah, because I already did, because I wanted to try another things, but that change, it doesn't involve too many other changes other than you have to modify the routes for the search. And
you're thinking about pulling the search method into the base organizations controller? Is that what you mean? Where would you move it to?
No, to another controller.
Move it to another controller. Oh, what, to have like a separate organization search controller?
Yeah, not organization search, but in principle, yes. But if you think about another step in the refactoring of the local support, you can have only one controller for the searches, and you are going to have the volunteer ops searches and the organization searches in only one controller.
Right.
So you can, in the future, you can extract in that way.
That's a really interesting idea. It sounds like it could, if I were having had that described to me, that make me think that's kind of a medium activity, given that you touch multiple controllers. The other thing I'd also be aware of is that by creating an organization's search or a controller specifically for searches, we're kind of moving away from the RESTful model, which sort of says that, we're going to have controllers that are responsible for resources as opposed to processes. Do you know what I mean?
But I read, it's a nice discussion, but I read that for example, in the controllers, we should only have the 7 actions that we
yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
One of them. So that is why I was thinking that.
Yeah, well, I agree with you completely. What I would be tempted to do is to merge this method with this method, because it seems to me that like what we want really is a RESTful URL where when we want to search the organizations, instead of going to a /search endpoint, we should just be able to add a query onto the onto here.
Yeah, makes sense. Yep.
Yeah, but again, that I would see as a sort of a more complex change. The reason I was thinking it was simple is it seems to me that we've got like a subclass here.
But you don't have it anymore with the changes that I've done.
The new pull request actually already removes that. Oh, okay. So then I should look in here to. Sorry, I was going and looking at the. Yeah, take your point. So here. Right, so that's sorry, and you were trying to tell me. Yeah, so that's already removed.
Yep. It is only a method.
Okay. But
we can extract it anyways. I mean,
so, but for example, this could be pulled into a different. Well, so this private method could be pulled up into the parent class, although that might create problems. And yeah, it could be extracted as a separate entity. But yeah, I guess that would need to be looked at. I mean, I guess that's making me think that then maybe it's more about merging search with index. Well, I'd almost go and I'll probably revise my vote into a medium then.
Okay.
But I wonder, does anybody else who was voting there? We had Stamatius, Kevin, Sigu. Stamatius, do you want to? Why were you thinking medium? Does what we were saying make sense?
Because when I was working on the breadcrumbs and trying to refactor the organizational controller, because of that issue in particular, I was really struggling to try to reduce the number of lines for the organizational controller.
Right.
So I figured I had already
encountered that pain.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally hear you. Well, I think I'm going to revise my vote to medium. Nicola.
Yep.
Yeah. Should we make that we'll make that a medium. Go back over here. Where is the votey thingy? What's it? Here it is. Medium. We'll set that 2 because tricky refactoring. And maybe we'll even suggest maybe merge search method into index, which is something that I'm kind of keen to see. I think that would be ultimately cleaner, but it's definitely a bigger job. All right, there we go. I guess I've got to go, but I do want to make sure that it was Gertie. Do you? I mean, we've got the other refactoring things here. Do you need any help deciding what to work on next? Or are you okay?
Yeah, if I could get someone to help me, because I'm not that much good. Because I need things that could help me at least grow.
Sure.
Yes.
Well, and I would say, do you want to try? Do you want to try this Cucumber step 1? Have you used Cucumber?
No, not yet.
So I mean, this might be an interesting one. What I would say is, you know, well, actually, maybe it's why we've got that as 3. Yeah, I don't know that we've got an obviously easy one for you to work. Well, if you were definitely looking for something simple, this one, this is just a change to the view. So if you just want to do a little bit more Rails stuff, I'd very much recommend this one. There, okay. The chat. But do I mean these ones here? These are both sort of Cucumber related ones, and so that if you're have a look through them and see if they make sense.
All right.
And yeah, it's the kind of thing. If you're not familiar at all with Cucumber, they kind of be a little bit more difficult. But if you're, I mean, they could be a good way of learning about Cucumber. It depends on how much time you spend on it. But yeah, definitely, if you want a quick win, I would say go for this one.
All right, I'll sure give it a try.
Yeah, wonderful. Well done. Excellent.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, everyone. yeah, and just because I shut down, you can all still hang out here if you want to look for pair partners, talk about stuff, hang out. Feel free to do it. Otherwise, I'll see you all in the next event. Hopefully, see some of you in the local support meeting later today. Bye for now.
Bye.
Have a good day.
Bye.
Yeah.